gonna give it a few more minutes before we start getting into everything, seeing if anybody else wants to join. I just put out a little tweet about it. Highly doubt it'll get any traction into the actual server, but that's all good.
I'm just going to do the same. Sorry, I got a little bit caught up since Daniel decided to drop everything that little bit early.
Maybe it was just a time zone error. He didn't know what you were talking about because he did it on the dot, like at 1.
Yep. It's basically he doesn't have daylight savings, and I do. This is the issue.
You know what? I don't think. Well, I guess that wasn't a worldwide rule, but America doesn't have daylight savings anymore either. I don't know if it's. I don't think it takes effect until like January 2023 or something like that. But we finally ended it, so now it's just going to be one time zone for everybody.
Well,
not one time zone, but one time all the time, not changing back and forth.
Yeah, I would rather it. I really would. I really would rather do that. But yeah, just a little bit of miscommunication.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and just kind of start things off, and if people come in and we've gone too far, I can circle back around to any questions anybody has. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. As we already went over, I think I've got some pretty good audio, and hopefully this goes smoothly. I cannot have a better setup for like seamless audio than I have currently. Yeah, it's been a while since we've actually had a meeting in the Discord and kind of touched base on everything. So I thought we'd have that to go over a lot of updates that we've got with MBC overall, but as well take the opportunity, since we're actually launching the level for the Meta Arcade Play to Earn game, as well as our NFT spaceship, to go ahead and get Leanne in here, and we can talk about how this process works and what everything means for the actual holders of MBC, and what this will do for our ecosystem, how that helps their ecosystem, and how like the cross integration between our two projects works, and some ideas that we have for moving forward on further integration. It's nice to just take a little bit of time and kind of explain that over to the base. That way y'all can kind of spread the word and answer any questions that anybody has as we move forward in our journey together. So,
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of you have spoke to me in text. You've not actually had the ability to actually speak to me yet. But we're very simple. I mean, I know some of you already play our game. The way our ecosystem works is you hold 25 BUSD of Meta Arcade and you hold a ship. Now, obviously, you have just launched your super awesome ship, so you can quite happily use that ship for state events and different tournaments across all our planets. The way we work with other projects, and specifically with yourselves, is that if Meta Captain wants to do a tournament, he can do that, and he can have it that they have to hold so much of your token, as well as have a ship to take part in the tournament. All the ship sales benefit both Meta Arcade and MetaBUSD, where basically we split ship sales 50-50. And of that, 25% goes to MetaBUSD to use for whatever Meta Captain deems it's for. And the other 25% buys your tokens and puts them in crates for you to all go and earn them and get your bag bigger. It's really simple, but it's quite complex how we work it. And you don't need to spend a lot of money. I know your ship does cost a bit of money, but you could easily buy one of our cheaper ships and grind your way up in the tournaments and make some money, and then purchase the bigger ships. We do have numerous upgrades and stuff that I know a few of you have won in our tournaments as well. Because in Meta Arcade tournaments we give away NFTs, BUSD, and obviously partner tokens. We did have our MBC crates as well, and we will be doing more of them.
Yeah, and I'd like to add on to that with that as well, even though like our ship is a heavy class fighter and it does cost more, you could purchase a lower cost ship and then upgrade it over time, and it's going to perform just as well as one of
Mhm.
those expensive ships, if not even better, depending on how your gameplay is and how those specs are that you want to play with. Um, I think Leanne uses. I'm not sure what class ship you use, but the one that's in her
I
picture.
use a fighter. I use a fighter class. This is my flaming cruiser. It's my baby, and I don't care what anyone says. This is my ship, and I will kick everyone's ass with it when I'm actually allowed to play and I get some time. But I do this ship because with all the upgrades, it gets you very close to what a heavy fighter can be, and it's pretty much the same cost, but it's a little bit quicker because it's a fighter. The heavy fighters have got lots more weapons, a lot more like this only has 4 lasers. Your ship, I'm pretty sure it has 6 lasers. I have all my stat sheets. I've posted them into my chat, and I've gave Meta Captain a copy of them for you guys as well, so you can see the different upgrades. Now we have decided, and I can't remember who put in the chat last night. I'm sure Meta Captain will remember who asked about having a bonus for
I'm not
holding.
sure his name, how to say it. It's his name's like Bog, maybe, or Baug. It's Boug, I believe.
So, well, me and Meta Captain had a little discussion. If you hold the Meta Rangers and you buy the MetaBUSD ship, we'll confirm with Meta Captain the addresses. We will give you the consumable upgrades. I don't know how I can post on here, but basically you get 5 of each. It usually costs $10, so we'll give you 5 of each, which is $30 worth of them. If you have a MetaBUSD NFT and a Meta Arcade NFT in the same wallet,
Very, very nice. So
make sure ship.
just
Sorry,
another
yeah, I was just
perk.
going to say.
I said
Sorry.
just another perk for both of them. So if you're holding the um, Meta Ranger NFT and you're holding the Zero X Sadie NBC ship, and you have your Meta Arcade tokens. If you have all those 3 things checked off, then and you only need what is it, $25 worth of Meta
Yep,
Arcade?
yep,
Yeah, so
yep,
$25.
$25.
Yeah, if you have all those 3 things checked off, then we will give you that bonus of the $50 value with the consumable upgrades. So you can
Yeah.
use those like 5 times and at your discretion. And once they're gone, they're gone. But that is a nice little bonus for you.
Yeah, well, it makes your ship 15% more powerful, 15% more shields, and 15% an extra hit point. So, like your ship's got 5 hit points, it would then have 6 before it gets destroyed. And you can keep them for when we're doing a tournament. You know, you don't have to use them for crate events. You may be having a big tournament, and again, I know a couple of you guys have been in my chat and you've seen our tournaments. I would advise you keep them for a tournament. I personally wouldn't use them for a crate event. That's just my feeling because obviously our tournaments are played in BUSD and the boost they give you could make you go further up the leaderboard.
Yeah. And with that, on those tournaments, we can set our prizes to be whatever we want, correct?
Yes, yes, yeah. I mean, right now it would be you would say to me, "This is what I want," and I'll input it into the system, and it'll run and it'll show on your planet leaderboard. Um, and at the end, it'll show who the winners are. But very soon, and we're very close to it. The NFT, your level is an NFT. You'll be given that NFT, and it'll give you access to the back end of their system, where you can set up your own create events, your own tournaments, edit your information on your planet. You know, because maybe you need to change your chart, or maybe you want to update your bio. And that
Yeah.
whoever holds that NFT has the ability to do all that.
Very, very cool. So that's awesome. That's just to give some people some understanding there to where I was kind of leading with that
Hmm.
is, as far as getting additional eyes on Meta Arcade as a project, as well as getting eyes on Meta BUSD Coin and forcing a little bit of engagement, as well as spreading holders, I think it's a good idea to try to put on some larger scale tournaments that involve other projects and their communities, but are hosted specifically by MBC and our Meta Arcade together. We can pull together prizes, or we can do
Yeah.
individual prizes, larger ones, and try to do these like larger scale tournaments with
Yeah.
all these parties involved.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what you're basically saying is, say for example, we had 10 projects who all wanted to get in this. We could all put in prizes. We could set up how we want the tournament. We do have a number of ways, not just high scores, because we're not all very good. So cumulative collecting the astronauts and stuff, as we seen in my chat a couple of weeks ago. John T from Metabolic, who he will tell you himself is not a gamer. He grinded the ass out of that tournament because Phenomenal Moto from Rocket said if he could beat him, he would give him an extra $100. So yeah, we have had a few little challenges like that, and we would be so up for everyone. Like we could have it that you have to hold so much everyone's tokens if it's going to be this large scale event. Where there's huge prizes, then it'd be acceptable that you have to hold $25 at each community house putting into its tokens and stuff, and just play with whatever ship you want.
Yeah, no, I think that makes perfect sense. I think it'll be a good way of again bringing in a little bit of additional community interaction, giving some of our current community holders something to do, as well as getting more eyes on the events themselves and the projects, and forcing them to get involved on at least a small level. Um,
Yeah,
just a good
I
idea.
mean, people can run their own tournaments and get used to it now. I know you want your guys to try out your ship, and your level is tough because you have a very good ship. So we can't give you an easy level that your destroyer will just destroy. We can't do that sort of stuff. Because it'd be ridiculous. You'd be playing it for 30 hours with that sort of ship. You don't want to be doing that. You'll blow up your phone. But we're all
That's
about improvement.
and that's the
And
other thing though, is like getting so for instance, let's take crypto positive token as an example. They just launched their
Mhm.
level today with us. So we host a tournament on our level, right? And it's our world. We invite those guys over. Well, whenever they come over, they're going to be using their little crummy ship. So they're going to have a really hard time on our level. And they're going to need to either upgrade their ship or buy my ship or in order
yeah,
to win at
yeah,
that. So
yeah. Stuff like that. We did have, and I was quite proud of it. The astronauts, which is basically my crates are replaced with astronauts, and you collect them, and that's your score. My flaming cruisers whooped all the heavy fighters, and I loved it because I'm a big advocate of the flaming cruiser. Um, no, a couple of the guys who own destroyers basically said, "Oh, we didn't have time," but yeah, they get whooped. But we have so much, and I keep saying to people, and people don't always understand, the game as it is now is my first game mode. People who have looked at the video that I posted the other day, that is my second game mode. There's going to be a lot more open space. It's going to be a lot more interactive, and it's something that's very, very close to being complete. And I'll be looking for some beta testers. I may run a little competition and get some people to work with Daniel.
is that
Let me adapt things.
is that co-op mode?
Yeah, that will be where we do our player versus player and player versus enemy, and a more open world feel to it, but not fully open world, if that makes sense. You can't just. But we will get to that fully open world. It's stages, but you'll always have the choice. There's some people who won't like that game mode, and they like the top down, just move back and forward, up and down, and destroy stuff. Not
Yeah.
everyone wants that more complicated mode, so we'll always have two. So your
Then
your level will have two modes.
oh, awesome. Well, in general, I mean, I personally love that top-down style. Like the way it is now, I love the game because it's a very nice, simple game. You can pick up, you can play it, you can enjoy it, and then you can set it down. It's not intensive on what you've got going on for the day. You can still, have kids running around in
Exactly.
the background or whatever. I love
Exactly,
it.
and that's why I would never remove that mode. But I know you've got a couple in your community who are more heavy gamers, and they
Oh yeah,
want that more challenging mode, and they want it to be this, and they want it to be that, and I will fully accommodate both sides. So when
absolutely.
you click on your planet, you'll have a choice between simulation and open world, and you'll be able to pick what you want to do. And it just makes it that little bit more interactive for everyone. The player versus player, we're still experimenting a little bit, and if you go to my asteroid belt just now, there's ever reflect tokens on there, but there's also a badass pirate ship, and that's basically a test for the player versus enemy mode in the open space because it hunts you down.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, your ship won't have a problem against it, and I'm pretty sure it was MetaDustin who has already challenged it.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, no, Dustin's quick on this kind of stuff. If you tell him, like, hey, go explore, go have fun, he's gonna go have fun real fast.
Yeah, he's been in our chat quite a lot, and he's been playing the game, and yeah, I think he was probably one of the first to purchase your ship.
Wait, where's your chat? Oh, do you have a Discord?
I have a Discord, but it's dead. My community won't come to it. They do my head in. I do have a
Am I
Discord, but they all
am,
sit in Telegram.
am I not in your Discord?
I don't even know.
I
Just
don't
check.
think I am. That's crazy.
My
Oh
Discord,
well.
my Discord is dead. It is actually dead. We have 70 members, and there's maybe only 5 or 6 people who actually speak in there because they won't leave Telegram. It really drives me insane.
It's fine. Let's I'll get your Discord a little bit, Papa. Yeah. Give
They,
me
they just won't leave for me. I did run a designer ship contest, and they did all come over to it for the designer ship contest, and then when the contest finished, they all left again.
well, we'll talk about it some more, but we can start with the bridge and then go from there. But let's get your Discord popping. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, just specifically with Meta Arcade. So the way that we're doing our first layer of integration is just very, very simple. So an arcade style console, the same one that you're used to seeing. Well, some of you might be way younger than me, but there used to be this thing when I was a kid where you could walk into a live location and there would be an actual arcade console. So it's like a stand-up console that has a TV screen in it. It's got some buttons on it. Looks like an arcade machine, and you play games. So we're gonna have a room full of those machines, and we're actually just going to call this room and white label this entire space as Meta Arcade. So it's going to be their space. Each individual console will contain projects levels. So if there is a level for MBC, we will have a console that is branded like MetaBUSDCoin, their logo, or sorry, our logo, and all of our colors and looks and feel. And whenever you go to that console, it'll just immediately launch you into that level, provided your wallet is connected, and so on and so forth. Um, Step one of this integration, more than likely, is just going to be a direct browser link. So it'll be again like a Web3 overlay. You'll work. We'll have to explain that to the community already whenever they're actually doing it, but it'll make native sense to you whenever you're in game for the experience, if that makes sense. It'll be the only option, especially for our like beta testers and stuff. And then as well, we'll have like a console next to that one for Crypto Positive or BUSD Buffet or many other partners that they have, Metabolic, Rocket Genesis. Their partner list currently is growing very, very quickly. So we'll end up filling the space with a lot of individual consoles for each little project and their specific level. And then we'll have like a row of consoles for Meta Arcade specifically for the different types of interactions. We can host tournaments directly from that space, live time with just the people that are in that room and stuff like that. Many options that will come from that space itself. We'll
Yeah.
add in additional games into that same area. That may or may not be built in by other projects or by MBC itself natively, but that space itself will probably always remain like the Meta Arcade with Meta Arcade's branding, and their future releases of their games and their game modes will be able to be debuted in there almost immediately after they release them. At least for the first iterations of the plugins, because we'll probably just be doing browser-based plugins directly into the consoles at first until we work out a few other things. And there might be a better way of doing it, but for now, that's definitely like the easiest. It works, so we can just do it that way.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'm looking at a VR headset. I never actually considered VR before I met up with Meta Captain, but I am now. So yeah, I've been looking at a couple of them. I've not decided what one I'm better to buy yet. I did have discussions with a couple of people in another chat we're in, and it seems to be split 50-50 on what headset is best to buy.
I don't know how it would even be split 50-50. I would think that like 80-20, 80% of people should be saying just buy the Oculus Quest 2. The only other headset that I would consider buying right this second that's like on the market would be the Pico 3. The
But
Pico
it was the
3,
Oculus and something else they said, but yeah, it was the Oculus I was looking at.
yeah, the
Um,
Oculus. That's what
that's
I
what I
would
was
get.
thinking of getting.
That's what I own and I use as like my daily driver is an Oculus Quest 2. And I have a Valve Index. And I don't ever use it. Um
I kind of like the
but
idea of the Oculus that I know it's better on the PC, and I've seen the graphics are a lot better from it. But I would have the ability if I wasn't at my PC, if I was away somewhere, that I could have my headset with me and use it without PC. Kind of like that.
yeah, I used to use my headset in hotel rooms all the time. So like I would do a lot of
Yeah.
traveling when I still worked for like automotive manufacturers. They'd send me to plants all over the country, and I would just like be in hotel rooms stuck for like 2 or 3 days. Literally 90% of my time was in the hotel room, and I'd spend like 2 hours in the plant because I was just fixing like one line of code or something like that. So um whenever I was doing stuff like that, I would take my Oculus with me, and like I had an Oculus Go back then, just like a really shitty headset that they don't even make anymore and haven't made for a long time. But I used to take that thing with me just specifically to like watch movies on. I preferred it to then watching movies on like smaller televisions and stuff. I would just like completely immerse myself into the theater, so to speak, and watch like cool feature films and stuff. Anyway, sorry,
Yeah.
back on track, people. I can
That's
talk about VR and VR shenanigans all day. So yeah, so that's the idea with Meta Arcade's like direct integration into our metaverse is we're going to build them an actual arcade space and we're going to fill it with primarily their games. We will have in a couple other projects partnered games within their own section of that space, but Meta Arcade will always kind of own that space. As far as you know, using that space in time, we're definitely going to work out like our revenue share agreements in like fine detail. But more than likely, if you're going to be within the VR space and using um, the stuff that's it within the VR, we'll probably just add on like the you'll have to hold both 20 at least $25 worth of meta arcade token and $25 worth of mbc token
Hmm.
no matter what projects are listed within the space. And if you're going to utilize that actual room and utilize those machines within that space, you'll have to have that requirement. Outside of that space, if you're just like, using the game on like Discord and whatever, you just have to use Meta Arcade's token holding requirements. But within the metaverse and the VR content, you will have to hold NBC and Meta Arcade. Not a problem for all you guys. You guys all hold it already, but other people won't be holding it, and I'm sure that'll come up. There's going to be a few spaces that are like that are within like the NBC metaverse where it's not like you're not going to have to pay to use it, but you'll have to have a holding of NBC in order to use that interaction. There's going to be plenty of free stuff to do. So, and like you won't have to hold anything. So it'll be completely public and people can come and go. They can like, mess around with chessboards. They can mess around with a lot of small interactions like our air hockey tables and stuff. We'll have actually the air hockey tables are going to go in the arcade room, but we're going to have I think we are going to have ping pong tables out in like the main lobby. We will have small interactions like that people can just kind of like socialize and be there, but some of the smaller breakdown stuff, there is going to be like a hold requirement for MBC in order for you just like to interact with that space. We're working out those boundary details and stuff now, but it is an ongoing process and we're working it out. Anyways, the shared space between like Meta Arcade and MBC to enter that space, it'll just be the same requirement that Meta Arcade has to play any of their games. So you'll have to hold like the Meta Arcade tokens to just enter that space, as well as the MBC tokens. But if you hold those tokens, just $25 worth, 25 BUSD worth, you'll be able to enter that space and then interact with all those games pretty seamlessly.
Yeah. And it's not a lot to ask anyone to hold, and I've not came across any projects who have a problem like holding their token, and I can't see them having a problem holding your token either to use your VR, because it's only fair at the end of the day, you know.
No, and just for everybody who's listening, that's like the same type of deal. Like, so like CPTX, not only are they like paying NBC to build out their platform, but like their platform bridge will again require you to hold NBC to use to access their metaverse. Like, just as another small requirement. We haven't worked out those exact details, but like that's how this is done. Like that's just how you build out the holdings and push the value up on the token. And then you work out the volume through like the actual commerce of what you're providing through these services. But anyways, so back to Meta Arcade. Again, as well, I think it'll be the same way, and of course, it'll always be way more popular doing it on Discord, Telegram, and just through browsers and holding the tournaments that way. But I do believe that in some bit of time, once we have a little bit more interaction and more consistent interaction in the metaverse on VR, we'll be able to like have our own unique community within that space and be able to hold individual separate tournaments within that metaverse space and giving away metaverse assets.
Yep.
That's my
Yep.
vision.
You sure can.
Yeah, like that's my vision, and that's what I'm pushing towards. So, um, sooner rather than later, we will get there, guys, and I'm excited for it. We are working out different NFT listings for our metaverse now, like pairing assets that we've created and turning those into NFTs, minting them on chain, and trying to figure out how we can do like those direct commerce transactions within the space. So like you keep the asset locked in place. So like if it's like something that you see within our metaverse that you like, it stays there. But if you want to purchase a copy of it, you can purchase it and then it shows up in your wallet and then you can import it into your private area. But again, working this stuff out. We haven't talked about this stuff in a while, so we haven't like got a chance to Leanne, me and my specific community. I've been doing like rounds of outside, like just trying to reach out to people from outside our community. So I've been doing a lot of like Twitter spaces and a lot of other AMAs with other communities, and I haven't actually had like a one-on-one with my team in a while. So
Mm-hmm.
this is you're getting the behind the scenes view of how we usually
You know,
talk
I
about
always love
things.
that. Yeah, you know, I love that. And I
Yeah.
do appreciate all your work and everything you do. I love your project, and I'm very
I love
slowly
your guys'
building my
project.
bag.
I really do love your guys' project. Like it's a really great way of bringing other projects together. A really low cost for like engagement, if that makes sense. You know, of course we're unique. I'm charging a lot for our ship, but our ship is really really cool. Most other projects on their platform do not have ships as expensive as ours. Um,
No, nobody does. Only we do. Like Meta Arcade has 2 ships that are as expensive as you. No one else, no other project has wanted to be that expensive.
ha
They've all went
ha,
for cheaper options.
losers. Sorry, no, I'm just joking. I'm joking. They're all really cool. But yeah, I mean, I wanted this ship means a lot to me and my in fact I didn't tell anybody anything about it. So the name of our planet is Xeris. It's named after the home planet of the Zerg from StarCraft. The ship itself, the base model was battled off of the battle cruiser for the Terran faction from StarCraft. And then the faction name of NBC, the NBC Asari. That's the name of our faction. That's what all of our ships and stuff belong to. All of our soldiers per se. That is actually the name of the ancient Protoss faction. Again from StarCraft. So I try to bake in a lot of game lore there, hoping to incite other people who come around and check it all out. Certain people will see that, and I think they'll appreciate that all on its own. As well, the name of the NFT ship is actually the name of the rocket ship that we currently hang out in VR now, our AMA lounge that we have built. It's actually the same name, and that name's baked into the side of the spaceship. The next time everybody's in, look around and see if you can find it because it's actually baked into it's like a shadow on the wall almost. It's really really cool. So I'm trying to like tie all that little lore in together as we continue to build out all of this metaverse and try to just get getting a continuing storyboard going of sorts. I'm gonna have to start like writing stuff down so I can continue to reference it like a year or two from now whenever we're um, moving on to much bigger and bigger and bigger things. But we still remember all these little lore moments from our early days. Anyways, so um, yeah, I did post the link in the chat. I meant to pin it. I'll pin it here in a minute, but you can go to our world, and if you just go to our world page, it gives you all the information about the project, the ability to look at the ship, the ability to play our level, and something else. But you can actually get to everything that you want to all from that one link. And of course, if you want to, you can always just share a link directly with the game level directly embedded. So if you wanted to like share the game with somebody, you can send just a link to our level instead of a link to all the levels, just a link to our level, and they can just check out ours. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, it's very, as I said, we like to be customizable that way. You can see all the levels from there, you can still access all the levels, but obviously you want to play your level. That's the way we set it up.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I'm just lost in a question. Like, yeah, I'll deal with that in a little minute. Someone's saying the game's someone saying it's hard to start the game. Like, what? I feel like they may be doing it wrong, so I'm just sending them some instructions. Yeah, I'm always around. Any that know me, I'm always around for questions. I'm always trying to be there to answer any and all questions. I do sleep sometimes.
There probably is some micro level of feedback from like a serious game or serious designer point of view about the game experience now, because I will say the first like two times that I loaded it up, it was not quite intuitive enough to me that the buttons for play and ship and stuff were actually buttons, like the tabs. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Um,
I
yeah.
get you. Yeah.
But like I figured it out after like the second go or the third go, and I was like, oh, okay, so you can just hit these and it takes you back, because I kept on hitting the back button, and
Yeah.
since I was in Trust Wallet, it would back me all the way out, and it was really annoying, and I was like, oh, this is dumb. But then the next time I hopped on, I figured out like, oh, you just hit this tab button here, and it takes you back to play. I was like,
I usually just
okay,
play in my web browser and connect.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
way, I don't actually play in my DApps browser. I usually always play in my web browser.
Oh, that's the way I've got it now, and that's like definitely the smartest way to do it. That's the way I've done it
Mhm.
now, and I just downloaded the app, which because I have an Android phone, so I just downloaded the app, and that works the best.
Oh yeah, like stuff like that. Obviously, some people don't like to do that.
Well, those people can get over it. No, I'm
I do like
joking.
to provide options, but like it can be quite hard sometimes because different devices obviously have different settings, and where you press back button in your phone, it may work. Someone else's Android phone um
Yeah,
won't. That back button doesn't work. Like I had someone who was like, well, when I press back on my phone, it works, but when they press back in their phone, it doesn't work. And I'm like, there's too many phones, like we set it to Android and we can't be that specific. I am going to add some controls better for PC. I will say that just now because I want to add the mouse, but I'm trying to keep it fair for everyone.
yeah,
Um,
uh,
uh,
yeah. You're nicer than I am.
yeah, well,
No, I'm
yeah, I know.
joking.
I do try to be nice, but yeah.
No, I mean, honestly, the way it works now with just browser play is so quick and easy that I don't think it's like, a negative or like super required that it needs to actually have an application and pair with it, especially because so many other like project partnerships that you'll have, just being able to run like the simple Flash game through the browser
Yep.
is perfect. Perfect.
Right.
All right. I'm trying to navigate back to my community to see. It's been so long since I've even had. There we go. AMA questions. Why is this not there, Gus? When daily aim. These are all so old. These are all from 3 days ago. I'm so sorry. I think Chris is too busy now for a daily AMA. But back to Mondays. We are going to get back to Mondays. Luca and me privately talked last night for a little bit about going back to a Meta Monday and having a Monday session every week. That's kind of why I was like so eager to just call this one today. It had been a while. I do feel like I've neglected the base just a little bit. Sorry guys, I have not meant to whatsoever. It's just I've been so wildly busy. Um, Again, most of the time, honestly, just trying to do community outreach and trying to find people outside of our space to get more and more eyes on the project. It might not seem like it, but I swear it is working. It takes just if it's just like one new person a day, that's all that matters to me. As long as there's somebody else looking at the project and paying attention, because we're constantly making improvements, we're constantly working on stuff, we're constantly getting partnerships. There's a lot that I can't even tell you guys about that's going on. But as far as new updates that we can review just to make sure everybody's on the same page. Crypto positive token. We are building their wellness center. It will be tied directly into our metaverse. They're still a ways off on that. Their V1 wellness center, I think, is set to go live um, in 2 weeks. Or no, sorry, I think they're gonna wait until after Father's Day. So after Father's Day, they will push live their V1 on their wellness center. And the plan is to do their wellness center integration into our standalone application before their V2 goes live. They're going to put out like 3 iterations of their wellness center. They're going to do a V1, a 1.5, and then a V2. The idea is to try to embed their wellness center into the metaverse around 1.5 and then expand through video services on V2. We can talk a whole lot more about that as we get further and closer to those things. Brew Labs. We'll talk about Brew Labs real quick. Um, so I like Brew Labs. I've been a huge proponent of Brew Labs from day one. I think they do great work, and they're really busy right now. So I don't want to like hate on them too much or anything like that. But our current relationship with Brew Labs is not as beneficial to us as it once was in the past. So, as respectfully as possible, we are going to start pulling resources from Brew Labs and starting to set things up a little bit more privately, a little bit more in house. Does that make sense? Just to have control over those functions, and we're going to help a couple other projects do the same thing. So we're going to start to migrate some stuff off of Brew Labs, and while we're doing that, um, I'm also not going to be embedding Brew Labs into the metaverse anymore. It's again, I know it seems like so cold, but it's really not. There's been a lack of communication. They've grown really fast. They're hard to get a hold of. And the last couple things that I've tried to work with them on, uh, the pricing and stuff like that we've all gotten back has almost been a price that says I'd rather not work with you. So I don't know what exactly is going on there. If they're just overworked and they don't have as much available resources that they're able to support what they've already got going on, but they're not being as supportive as I'd like them to be with their current ecosystem. Um, it's caused issues between many of my holders in my community that have had to come to me privately, having strange issues, very strange issues that shouldn't be issues whatsoever. And at the end of the day, the reason why they are issues is because Brew Labs is changing too many behind the scenes items that um, impact a wide spread of projects without consulting those projects to begin with. They're allowed to. They can do that. The services that people are using there are Brew Lab services. If you're using those services in conjunction with my contract, if I wanted to um, secure those services in a different way, I have the ability to do so, and I should do so. So that's what we're doing. We are working on it. I haven't been able to talk too much about it because I'm not doing this alone. I'm working hand in hand with Shillax. Jeff and Gabe are helping me set up a completely separate staking platform for staking pools, and we'll be able to bring over many of the project partners that we work with all into one smaller ecosystem where we can kind of manage everybody in an in-house manner with more focus-driven attention towards like the customer service aspects. These services might cost some of these projects a little bit, but it'll be less than what they have had to pay Brew Labs, and they will get much better services, and that will end up benefiting MBC in the form of those fees going to buy liquidity directly for MBC. So it'll buy tokens, it'll pair additional liquidity, and then pad the liquidity pool. It's not going to burn any tokens. It's just going to buy, pair, pad. I should fucking copyright that. Um, or patent it or whatever. In trademark. Anyways. Um, but yeah, again, not I don't want anybody to walk away from this thinking that I'm bitter with Brew Labs because I'm really not. Like we're good, we're everybody's fine. I haven't had any like bad words with them or anything like that. I just haven't felt the love that I used to feel from them. And because of that, and because of complaints that I've gotten from other projects that I got involved with Brew Labs, and complaints that I've had from like my own community members, I think it's time that we focus a little bit on kind of fixing those issues just to make sure that if we're moving forward with other items on our roadmap and agenda, we're not leaving some of these other items that are quote unquote behind us loose. I want to close things up, tighten them down a little bit. Whenever we make the move, because I have the blocks. So the way staking pools work is you time your block from one block to another block. That token liquidity is technically my token liquidity is technically tied to that contract for those blocks. So I cannot actually remove all of my token liquidity. I can force the stopping of the rewards if I wanted to, and I could essentially null the the contract and make it to where it's not paying out anymore, but I don't necessarily want to do that. So what I'm going to do, and I think what like the easiest um way to try to try to incentivize people to move over would actually be, well, not move over, but I'll, of course, you'll be able to access your pooled tokens in your contract from our new dApp. So if you wanted to, you could still go use Brew Labs or you could use ours, either one. But I will actually introduce an additional staking pool. So we already have the 2 staking pools and the 1 farming pool. All 3 of those are going to move over to our dApp. And then I'm going to actually just introduce a 3rd staking pool. This 3rd staking pool is going to have a slightly higher yield reward than what's currently available in the 90-day pool now. I will snapshot what the yield is for market value. I will open a new staking pool at a guaranteed flat rate of higher than what it is. And I'll have to monitor this because I'll have to just continue to add liquidity, but I can do that with the automated contract instead. And we can keep that rate at a fixed rate. So I'll pick the rate that it's going to stay at. We'll release that pool at that rate. And then hopefully just having that pool at that rate is what will incentivize people to move over to that pool. And we will have that pool at a another 90-day lock. So it'll be like the same lock, but it'll be a fixed rate pool. So you'll automatically always receive this. And then hopefully people will drain out of the 90-day pool. They'll move over into that pool, and then we can close down the 90-day pool from paying out yields any further.
I
Anyway,
I was actually asked to speak to you about Brew Labs on behalf of somebody else as well later, Chris.
he wouldn't be the only one.
Yeah.
I swear,
Um,
like you wouldn't be the only one. I just had uh, a conversation with a group of devs, like literally up until the point that I started this AMA. And that's kind of why I decided to go ahead and talk about Brew Labs for a moment. That was talking about Brew Labs, and again, this is around like pricing. So just to give, because I'm
yep.
very candid
That
and
it's went up a BNB basically from what was quoted.
how much?
It's went up a BNB. They said because of the rate that BNB has fallen.
Oh, they went up. So what were you quoted before? Were you quoted 4?
Oh, I wasn't me. It's another project that I work with. They were quoted 3, and now it's went up to 4.
Okay, so I thought you were gonna say it went up to 5. So like, okay, so just to give everybody an understanding, I have these staking contracts. I own them, right? They're mine. Uh, Beyond having Brew Labs staking contract, I have other staking contracts. A staking contract's not hard to write. Our NFTs are stakeable, for instance. Um, a stake like stakeable.sol is an open GitHub. Like, just to be very, very clear for everybody, this is like not a crazy thing. So, Crypto Atlas is working on a project right now. It's an NFT project, and he has like 10 separate token projects that have signed up to partner with him for these NFTs. And he was gonna ask Brew Labs as one of the partners, hey, can we also introduce staking for these NFTs for the individual projects? So like each project could just put tokens in a staking pool, and if you have the NFT, then you can place it in one of those projects pools and receive their tokens. You can move it around whenever you wanted to between the projects, and you can just pick whatever rewards you wanted whenever you wanted them if you hold this NFT. Cool little concept, right? Well, we get through like weeks of negotiations and talks and like development plans and stuff, and finally, like one day we're all talking, and this is like a month ago. I was like, "Hey, man, I just want to know. Like, nobody's ever talked about this or brought this up this entire time that we've been having these conversations. But Atlas, are you aware of what this might cost?" And he's like, I mean, I wasn't sure. I figured, if we're partnering on this, we're gonna work this out." And I was like, I don't know, Sire from Brew Labs. And he's like, "Oh yeah, but I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to charge you for this." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I mean, I knew you were gonna charge him for it, but like realistically, if he's gonna buy 10 pools at once, like, are you gonna make him pay the three B&B per pool?" And that's the first time I heard about it going up, and I was like, uh, and he goes, "Oh no, sorry, mate. Even if you bought all 10, we're gonna need 4 B&B per pool." It's like, what? So you want 40 B&B to build this app, like 15K. You want $15,000 to build these staking pools for this project?
Yep.
Fuck, wild.
I mean, I work on. I mean, I speak with numerous different tokens, and people move at different stages. When I speak to someone and I quote them a price, now our price is 4 B&B for a planet and a ship. If B&B falls in the time of our discussion, I don't change my price. That's my price. I chose to be paid in BNB. If I want it to be stable, I'd ask for it in BUSD.
Well, okay, and not just that, like, take into consideration what we're really talking about here. Brew Labs is using one contract. So, like, the contract for Everreflect, the contract for MetaBUSD coin, the contract for BUSD Buffet, the contract for every single staking pool that they have on their pool that is a BUSD reward token is the same contract.
Yeah, it's copy and paste.
Yeah, it's copy paste. So they're copy paste, and they have the same iframe. So like that's a white label iframe widget that they're rolling out for each individual project that goes on their site. Like I like it's, for instance, 4 B&B for a project to get listed on there and to have all that done. That's not a terrible price for one project. One, like, hey, do this. You wanna cut through all the red tape. You want us to get this done and have it done. Here's what it takes, and get it done. But like realistically, if you're working with one guy and he's trying to list, 10 of them on at once, cut his price in half at least or something. I mean, I know what goes into this. I know what they're really doing. For instance, if it's just one project or if it's 10 projects, either way, it's going to be done in a day. Like 24, 48 hours tops, everything's ready to go. Versus what you guys are doing, y'all are designing a spaceship and a level, working out the enemies and how the interaction is with the enemies. It seems like your level of work is a lot further than that level of work, for the same price. And
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm getting at. Like, I understand you have to make money and you have to have like a successful business. And again, I don't hate Brew Labs for doing what they do. And if they can charge one project that, and like I paid it, for instance, I didn't pay for BNB. I paid less than most people do, but that's because I also got so many projects listed on Brew Labs right after. Kind of the same situation with like Meta Arcade. They just got like they got a Meta Captain effect kind of deal where I was like, "Hey, y'all work with me now. I promise you'll succeed." They worked with me, they've succeeded, and now they don't work with me anymore. Douches.
Yeah, no chance. I mean, I know I'm relatively new to this space, and basically you don't have my word for it, but I'm very much all about my word. And you've seen how I operate. You're always there when I speak to people. I say the exact same thing to everyone. We really value and appreciate your help, and that's why you'll probably be getting all the cool stuff first, and you'll be getting to try all the cool stuff first because, yeah, I know you're going to appreciate the work that goes into it because some people don't. They're just like, well, why does that click and it doesn't play? And it's not always that simple. We're all about feedback, and I love when people message me and go, "What about this? Can you fix that? Can you do this?" And I'm like, "Yep, I'll add that to my list," because we do make a list every week. And everything the community asks me, and me and Daniel sit on a Friday and we go through it all and we see what's possible and we see how we can help the projects. like there's a couple of projects that are coming on board that haven't yet, so we've got some of their tokens and we've put them in crates. Just to give them a little boost, because why not?
Oh, interesting. Is that where EJ or Everflex tokens came
Yeah.
from? I was
Yeah,
just
well, that's where they
yeah.
started from, and then EJ messaged me and was like, "Oh, thank you very much, and here's some more."
Okay, interesting. I was just wondering. I know he hadn't listed yet. He's listing. He told me after the 20th is when he would
Yeah.
list.
Yes, I'm currently also speaking with BUSD Buffet, but I have to speak with Daniel because he wants me to have food instead of aliens, and I don't think Daniel will do that.
What? That's so weird. He wants food? Like, I mean, that's kind of cool, I guess. Like little burgers
Yeah.
flying around in the sky. It's
But
cheese. It's cheesy, but that's
yeah, you've seen Daniel in his game, like
yeah,
Daniel has a process, and any of you who get to speak with Daniel, you'll understand this. Like, for a planet to have light behind it, there has to be a sun orbiting it. He's very literal in what he does, so we may be able to make enemies that resemble food, but I really cannot see him going to have pizza flying in space. But I can ask. I can
yeah. I
always
mean,
ask.
ask for sure. Ask for sure. I don't know. That's awesome that Kevin came to you with that, though. Hey, can you just put some flying pizza slices in there for me?
And he's literally just messaged me there, and I'm like, well, I can since it's you, I can ask him,
Oh my
because we do
god,
have the poo coin level. So we may be able to do something like that, where we've got Poocoin asteroids, and so we may be able to work something out like that.
that's actually hilarious. That's
Um,
awesome. I now I kind of hope it happens.
yeah, I kind of like the idea, but I can just see Daniel like pizza doesn't fly in space.
Make him like a cheeseburger planet. Make
Yeah.
his planet look like a cheeseburger or something.
Yeah, I can get him to look at it. I can see we're going to have to talk very nicely to him to allow me to do that.
That's funny.
I, I like,
He'll
I,
list.
I just mean it's a
I
process.
think. I
So,
think they'll also list regardless. I'm pretty
oh
sure.
yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah.
he's just asking like, basically, what can he get?
Yeah. Exactly.
Um,
Um. They actually just signed up for the crypto cup too. So I think that's obviously not one this
is it
week.
another team?
Yeah.
Another
They're
people?
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I, I,
maybe they replaced somebody. Maybe somebody dropped out.
um, I kind of think there might be. I'm not going to lie. See if certain people keep me waiting 40 minutes or keep my players waiting 40 minutes at 2 a.m. I'm going to say something this time.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean, hopefully it doesn't. I mean, there was such a backlash from the last Crypto Cup that if they screw the pooch again on this one, then it would probably be the end of it. So hopefully they've got it all worked out. But then again, I also haven't heard anything from anybody on an official level, so I don't
I
know.
may have some inside information, so I do know that there is things that are being corrected, but I do also know there was issues caused because certain teams disappeared.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that kind. When we done the crypto cup at practice rounds, and it was a hell of a lot more smoother. And what we done is that the teams we were playing against, we got in, that room where you've got all your IDs, and we'd be like, right, you play them, and I'll play yours, and then we switch it round after it. And everyone had each other's tags, and it went very smoothly, and there was very little downtime.
Yeah. They should have just I think if they were going to play that game, they should have just had a private lobby the entire time. I think
Yeah.
everybody assumed we were going into a private lobby whenever we joined this up, and the fact that we didn't was just so confusing. We're like, what do you mean? You want us to just go play public matches? Okay, that's fine.
Right. Do you want the easy link? Do you want the easy link for your community as well?
Yes, of
The one that
course.
pops up. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, of
It's just
course I
because I've
do.
been. Yeah, well, me. I like to give options. Sometimes this is my issue. I give too many options. Um,
Sometimes, I mean, just assume that I want the very best every time.
yeah.
This is a rock star community though. If you support all of these guys on here, all these metas, and look, Mr. Who's hanging out with us too. What up, Mr. Who? somebody asked me, you're somebody asked me about you recently, and I called you the cat, and they were like, "The cat," and I was like, "The cat."
Yeah, my daughter actually drew that. So I will. You'll never see me put an NFT up as my profile picture because my kid drew this one.
Yeah, you should go mint it somewhere.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah,
Where should I do that? Show me. Send me a link and I'll go do it.
Yeah, I will.
ever
I will.
reflect.
Or
Mm,
yeah, you go to EverReflect. EverReflect a family. They have like free minting. You can go mint that for free at everreflect.com or ever. I'll find the link and I'll post it.
yeah.
Sweet. All right. Thanks, guys.
No problem. Uh,
I've posted the very simple link for your level that just takes you to a bit where you can press play and connect your wallet. Because
nice.
people might like that link simpler.
By the way, just heads up for all you meta fans. Just random. EverReflect is finally actually launching their NFT tickets in like 3 days. I think in 3 days. I'd have to double check, but so the whole reason why they were waiting to list on Meta Arcade's platform is they didn't want to uh shine away any information from what they're going to be dropping next, and it's
Mm-hmm.
finally NFT tickets are finally coming. So
Yep. Uh,
it's some type of
Friday at Friday at 5 p.m. UTC. They have an AMA in their Telegram to announce it.
yeah, exactly. And it's going to be, I think, I can't remember the name of it. It's some type of rib festival. It's a rib festival, and then it's the Tango Crypto Festival, and then it's also another music festival. So it's like three different events that are all going to go live. You'll be able to buy those tickets, I believe, in either fiat or crypto, except for this silly Tango convention thing. The Tango convention thing, I think, is only in BUSD, but don't. I am not an expert here. Don't. I'm not saying that for sure. And honestly, nobody needs to go to the Tango crypto thing. We're gonna hold a different convention at some point ourselves. Not just me, but some other people as well. We're gonna hold like a Midwest Fest of some sort, a little bit closer to where a lot of us are. Who know? Maybe even in like Kentucky. Since sorry, Ben, I know you're not anywhere close to me, but but the rest of you are. Dustin's close to me. Lorian's close to me. Henry's pretty close to me. Luca is far away. But Leanne and Ben, I promise you guys, one day I'm going to come to Europe. I'm going to do like a European tour, and I'm going to go see a bunch of cool stuff. My wife really wants to go. One day
Oh,
I
we
will.
can definitely help you out. Yeah, we can definitely show you some cool stuff over here.
Wow.
Um,
One day. Anyways,
one day.
all right, guys, we're just over an hour right now. I'm gonna open up to any questions that anybody has. Sorry I did ramble a lot today, but we did have a good little bit to talk about. We have some more that I need to talk about with you guys too, but we'll just have to hold another AMA for that. Try to keep this one focused on Meta Arcade and like our gaming aspect of stuff. But anybody have any questions for me? Does anybody actually, before I open up for questions, real quick? So the way this works, click on the link for the game, hit Connect Wallet. That'll give you the option for Wallet Connect. Um, and if you connect the wallet that has your MBC Meta Ranger NFT in it, and you buy the 0x Sandy ship, and you have $25 worth of Meta Arcade tokens, you will be gifted a bonus of 5 consumables worth $50. Um, and that is how that's how that process actually works, though.
No,
So what
it,
you'll do is, sorry, what is it? Leanne?
it's actually a total of 15, and it's $30.
Oh, I'm
Three
sorry.
zero.
We're cool. Same thing. They understand.
Yeah.
They know I'm not a math guy. No, so the that is the way that that'll work. So if you click on that link and you hit connect wallet, you were given a wallet connect option, and then just connect your DeFi wallet, whatever wallet you use, and then you can actually purchase Meta Arcade right there in game if you don't already have any, and you can also purchase MBC if you don't have any for some reason, and you can always buy more of either one directly from in game anytime you want to. That just for everybody's knowledge, for security purposes and stuff, the way that purchase works is that's through bogged finance. So everybody here should be familiar with bogged. I'm a huge bogged fan personally. It was I never have even told Leanne about this, but it was really cool to me that whenever she said like that's whose API they're using is bog, I was like, fucking cool, so awesome. Nobody uses box, but yeah.
Awesome.
um,
Yeah, I don't know why people don't. It's an awesome site. It just works so much better than PancakeSwap and PooCoin. It really does. It's seamless.
yeah, and both the brothers are gone now, so
Oh.
bye, Bogdados. Anyways, um so does anybody have any questions about the gaming experience? Oh, one other thing. Our crates, the NFT crates, or sorry, the loot crates that contain like the MBC tokens. So there were big blast of crates that already went out a while back. We are going to go ahead and I'm going to send Leanne some extra MBC tokens to go ahead and put in some crates now. But then the way that those are generated are through the NFT ship sales. So like every time we sell, what number did we decide? Did we decide 5 or 10?
We can do either. I mean, it's kind of up to yourself. 5 works out as I'm trying to remember my numbers in my head. Yeah, we could do 1.25. That would work out at just 0.6 of a token by each time. If you do it as 5.
Okay, so
0.625.
10. Let's do 10. So then it'll
Then,
be like
yep.
1.25. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
so
Yep.
for after every 10 NFTs that we sell of the ship, then Meta Arcade does a purchase of 1.2 BNB worth of tokens. Those tokens get divided up into like loot boxes, and then those are winnable items within game. Um, yeah.
And Meta Captain can choose to add whatever he wants to those crates over time as well. I mean, we've had people who have asked about discount codes for merch, NFTs, BUSD, whitelist spots. There's basically if it's something that you can use in crypto, we can put it in a box.
Yeah, and I love that. And and we will be expanding on our crate options. Obviously we have a ton of NFTs that we can give away, tokens and many other options moving forward. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's how that works, and that's why some people saw some NBC tokens a while back in those crates early on, and they haven't seen any in a while. It's because there was a little bit of a lull between like the original token drops and then to now where we're actually getting to the point to where we're releasing the ship and the level and stuff like that. So, but
Yeah.
now that that's out, I'll be sending some tokens over to her. Go
Yeah.
ahead and get those
Obviously,
immediately.
yeah. Obviously, the Luna Madness kind of took us all a bit surprise. So yeah, that kind of messed up some of your plans. Luna just made everyone in crypto go crazy. But
Yeah,
yeah, we're
it's
back on track.
that's not even the only one. Since then, there's been like 4 other algorithmic stables that have gone a little nuts.
Yeah, well, as
Any,
I said, I know a well-known token who you know very well, who had a 12k sell that they put in Luna, and they didn't make nothing from it. Like, oops.
that's hilarious. All right. Is there any questions, anybody? I'd like to think everybody's at work anyways, and they can't even ask questions. And there's probably no real good reason to ask too many questions. I think I try to review everything in quite detail. So no.
I'm always available if they've got any more questions for me, and if it's not a good time for them, they can always send them in chat, tag me. I'll always strive to answer everyone's questions.
I'm not. If you message me, I'll just immediately ban you. All right, guys. Thank you all very much for joining us this afternoon. I do have to go pick up my kids in like 10 minutes, so I'm glad we were able